A tempest threw a rainbow in my face so that I wanted to fall under the rain to kiss the hands of an old woman to whom I gave my seat, to thank everyone for the fact that they exist, and at times even feel like smiling. I was grateful to young leaves that they were willing to open up to the sun, to babies that they still felt like coming into this world, to the old ladies that historically endure until the end. I was full of thanks, like a Sunday alms box. I would have embraced death as she'd stopped nearby. Gratitude is a scattered, homeless love. Welcome to Being the Light on the Angel Channel. Happy to have you with us for our Thanksgiving extravaganza. Woohoo! Yeah, it'll be a good show tonight. I originally had wanted to do a whole Archon thing and the whole Gnostic thing, and kind of at the last minute, just felt really compelled. And a couple angels were sitting there going, "Dude, do some gratitude, man. Gratitude is a very, very powerful thing. We're going to talk about that a good bit." Tammy, good to see you. Inga, good to see you. Tom, always my brother. As always, special Thanksgiving thanks to my friends and supporters at Audrey Asciutto Real Estate Broker, and here in Sebring, and purveyor of the Audrey's Place Airbnb here in town. Really wonderful place to stay. And my erstwhile friend, longtime compadre, Ernie Mosteller at Fried Okra Entertainment. Check out his work at friedokra.tv. Pretty amazing stuff. And both these people have just really stepped up in a big way to help keep the show going, keep my silly face on the air, and huge heartfelt thanks, man. You're gonna hear that a lot tonight, so join me if you'd like. Oh, we got, hey, Grant, good to see you, man. Did you get those cards? Heather, really glad you made it. Staying up. Hey, boys showing up. Arnie, my good buddy. How are you, man? Grateful for all of you guys. Seriously. Crazy astral weather continues, and good. I'm glad you did. The sun stuff has cooled out a little bit. It was so crazy that there were like 3 coronal mass ejections that happened separately. But the ones that were behind, like the one in front, was slower than the other ones. So they caught up with it. And by the time it hit the earth, it was like 3 blasts all condensed into one thing. And, what a crazy time when they're seeing the Aurora Borealis in Texas, pretty amazing time we're living in. And 3i Atlas continues to just be a source of anomalies and wonder and curiosity. And I'm having a blast watching that unfold. It's supposed to be making its closest approach to Earth here soon, maybe in about 3 or 4 weeks. And we'll see if any aliens show up to do whatever aliens are going to do. And in the meantime, there are other comments and stuff coming in from other places in the universe that we haven't really experienced before. And what amazing, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to see something come from another interstellar space and be able to examine that and have tools that are good enough to be able to reach out and scope it out. I used to wonder as a kid, man, like my bed was right next to my windows and I never could sleep. So 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd be staring out the window at the stars, just wondering what was up there. And watching all of that happen is really cool. The other thing that's really super cool that's happened over the course of my lifetime is that so many things that were considered occult or magic or that sort of stuff, like you're watching physics and those concepts come together and be one and the same. Like I keep seeing that happen over and over and over and over, which just tickles the magician in me and the scientist like over the top. Really, really cool. I've always just had curiosity, man. If I was digging it, I really was into it. I wanted to know how it worked. So starting to get to see a bunch of this stuff has been a really fun part of this part of my life. Next week, we're going to talk about something really cool. It's there's this group called the Collins Elite. It started in the late 40s. And one of the guys that was like really crucial in our missile and space development, rocket development, wound up being in his off time a Crowley devotee and was doing a bunch of the rituals that were calling spirits and demons and all kinds of different stuff. And supposedly it was having a huge ton of success with that. And it wound up spurring this group called the Collins Elite. And their whole mission from a government standpoint was to call forth and conjure beings and get like espionage information and stuff. So it's a pretty crazy story. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you next week. Let's see. Yeah. For the practice kids out there that are having some success with the spinning rod thing, kudos. Really, really great about that. This Thanksgiving, the holidays, it's such a mixed bag of emotions, man. And it can be really fun. It can be really stressful. And some people get some really like intense anxiety about that. And, so I spend a good bit of time just trying to keep everything smooth and not go over the edge with anything. And so we're going to talk about some breathing exercises today that are really like this little box breathing sequence, super simple. And it is designed to take you from a state of panic and high, like intense anxiety, almost to the edge, and bring that back down into a reasonable place down here. And it's a super useful tool. As a matter of fact, it's so useful that the Army Rangers and some of the Marines like use this. They teach combat soldiers this. And if they're like trying to tell you while you're in a foxhole getting shot at, man, to like breathe, there's really something to it. The thing about the breathing exercises is that they really they change your mental state for sure. And that whole like emotional thing, those things change. And there's a million, as you've seen, where we've done a bunch of them already, that are all designed to elicit a specific effect. And that happens because physiologically you're changing too, by changing your breath intake and your regular oxygen flow. You're changing the signals that go to your brain and activate different parts of your brain. And it really is a dual energetic and mental switch, and also a physiological switch too. So we're going to serve that up. In a little bit here. Also on the spinning thing, now that you're starting to get the being able to spin that rod, you'll start seeing, like, you'll notice that about everything, like everything, even if it looks like it's solid, what's solid is not. Like, you break it down into particles and there's a bunch of atoms sitting there spinning like a little solar system, all in its self-contained self. So that action happens pretty much in everything. Like your chakras are not just sitting there. Your chakras are spinning too and moving energy through your whole energy system. So one of the things I like to do that I inherited, and by the way, this is this thing called the maelstrom, and my teacher, this is his construction, and he is the master of this particular technique, and it's really, really crazy. He's been doing it for a long time. It's called the maelstrom, and around the holidays, you're with a bunch of people, family and stuff, people that push your buttons, like, like backstabbing and gossip and all that kind of stuff, and a bunch of that stuff attaches, and over the course of a year, that stuff like accumulates a little bit, and you can do a pretty good job of keeping it gone, like doing a regular grounding practice. But there's a lot of stuff you don't really know that's going on, and people sending you ill will. So rather than trying to address any of those things like individually, he came up with this thing called a maelstrom, and it's like you're standing in the center of a wheel, and you're making energy spin and like really, really fast until it just looks like it's a blur, and you make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and contained in that is like just little sharp stuff and sandpaper and rocks and like, and you're just creating this scraping thing. And this isn't a mental thing, man. Like, you're watching the wind blow around. It's really super intense, and your intent is just to rid your aura, your light body, your personal space of any negative attachments that like you know of or don't know of, and just to clean all of that up. And you just send that around you like a buzzsaw, man. And it like I try to do that at least once or twice a year. And every single time, man, I just feel so clean and light and bright. So if any of you spinners out there are interested in pursuing that, I'd contact me later, and I'll be happy to fill you in on a few more details with it. And again, me and Maestro. Yes. Okay. As I've mentioned, the new decks are in, and like from now till Christmas, like if anybody wants to cop one for a gift or for themselves, be happy to sell you the deck, and also include a full like 4-band elemental tarot reading and angel card reading. And so if you just mention that to me, when you sign up for it, we'll be sure to schedule that and then hook that up. Okay. Oh yeah, and I was talking to my friend Inga this morning. She reminded me of this. So we touched on. I do a mainly a 4-band elemental layout, or 12 cards in it. And I use that like it's my go-to, and it's something that I didn't learn from anybody else. It just sort of evolved over many, 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 many years of using it, and it just seemed to fit perfectly for me. So I go there a lot, and we're going to talk about that sometime next week, or I think next week. But I also do a bunch of different types of specialty readings, one of which is a year-end reading. And we either start at January or we start at Aries, and we pull cards, making a full 12-month circle. And I do that 4 times, so that now each of the signs and the months have like a 4-week little chunk of like, here's what's going to happen. And I was talking to Inga today, and she had hung hers up on the wall and was like commenting that it was just, we're going to do another one for this year as well. So anyway, if any of you guys are interested about that, hit me up in the chat thing, and send me an email down here at wizardval.com, and we'll hook you up with that. I think they're pretty cool and informative little ways to look at kind of an energy flow for a large period of time. Yeah, okay. All right. So gratitude is not just like an attitude or an emotion. Gratitude is an energy frequency that happens inside you, and it has real, again, mental effects, but it also has a whole list of physical effects that are tangible and measurable, and these are kind of things that have been arrived at through a bunch of research, and I'll go through those with you. Yeah, okay. So, well, let me tell the story first. So, getting to gratitude actually saved my life in a very real way. Before I moved here, which is going on like 3.5 years ago, this is about mid 2023, like COVID had just decimated my business, and I was really super struggling. And then that Christmas of 2022, the 1st of December, I found out that my place where I'd been living for the last 15 years, I was going to have to move. And man, it just sort of blew me up because it was my perfect little world. I loved that. Like I had a Mondo garden and a bonsai garden, and my practice space outside was just like the most amazing place and wonderful place to light paint and do my artwork. And I had a tiny little house that was just like crammed from top to bottom with all of my stuff, books and my crystal collection, all of that stuff. So I just kind of went into pretending I didn't know I had to do that for a little while because I just couldn't accept it, man. It was just heartbreaking. And time started rolling up. I started looking into stuff. It was just really brutal, man. I mean, things were, the reason the guy was selling the house is because he was getting offered like 4 times what the house was worth, and he sold that thing and moved to the Keys and retired, man. It was like that much money, and I, he's a really good friend, and he helped me a lot over the years, and I couldn't really be pissed off or anything about it, but it still was just really crushing. And as that started happening, a bunch of other business stuff was just like, oh my God, what is happening? And as I'm coming up on it, like getting another place in Miami seemed like this is an impossibility, man. People were wanting like, $2,000 for a room in a house with 4 other people. I'm like, no. So I started putting feelers out all over everywhere. And in the meantime, like right after New Year's, I've always had this ability to kind of reach out like 2 or 3 months ahead of me and can tell whether I'm good or not. Like I'm not doing like a future forecast, like here's exactly what's going to happen, but I could always reach out and like if it was something wobbly and not good, like it kind of would give me a heads up to start looking around and see what was going on. And other times it'd be really great. I know to just keep forging ahead. And all of a sudden my vision for myself stopped, like just stopped. And I could still see really good for other people. And like, but for me, like it just stopped. And then my readings for myself just were like, wait a minute, this is not right. In the meantime, my readings for other people got better. And that just kept happening with so many of my abilities, like being able to see my own aura. I was looking at it and it looked all distorted and weird if I could even see it at all. And oh man, it was just really, really freaking me out on every level. So I'm talking to my teacher about this along the way, and we're just like, what the heck is going on? And stuff just kept happening and people were dying. I lost like 5 people like that were super close mentors of mine, like within a 6-month span. And it was just like, man, I'm just getting decimated. So it finally came down to, man, I just had to get out of there one way or the other. And I realized I was going to have to sell most of my stuff. I had like yard sales with all of my like treasures like going out. And it was just really brutal. And I felt like I was just dying. And in lots of ways I was. And the magical things for myself, man, I had no ability to do any energetic anything for myself, and I couldn't see myself in the future at all. So like every signal I was getting from the universe was like, hey, listen, bud, you've had a really great run, man. It's time to get your grip together because, I think we're moving on to the next stage. And, my teacher is like, he's the eternal optimist. He's never like, we could fix it. Whatever needs to happen. We can fix it. We could fix it. Well, no, we couldn't fix it. As a matter of fact, my teacher stopped being able to see my aura. He couldn't find me. I called him up one day and I said, listen, dude, I went and did a reach out last night, looked at my aura. It was different. And I didn't want to preload it, man. I wanted to see what he would see when he like reached out and looked too, and compare some notes because my calibration was just screwed. So he calls me the next day. He's got this weird tone in his voice, and he's like, listen, man, I couldn't find you. Like, what? Yeah, I couldn't find your light. I couldn't find your light body. Which I have to be honest with you, man. I like, oh my God. Oh. That had never happened, man. Like we look at each other's light like all the time, like whether we're with each other or not, we could still see that. It's always been really easy. And for me to see it in this weird skewed color, if I could see it at all, and for him to like, no, he couldn't find it either. So I remember coming to this place of just kind of accepting, okay, well, I guess this is it. And we started, one of my favorite books is Hermann Hesse's Steppenwolf. And that character comes up with a way to end things on his own terms. And I started kind of considering that because it sort of said, like, I didn't want to just get taken out, and like, let's pick a really super cool way. So we were discussing that, and he was like, my teacher was being really cool about it, and like, I mean, he couldn't deny it either. It was just so freaking intense. So I asked him to do me a favor and to ask some of the people that his associates, to take a reach out to, one of whom I knew, another I knew of but had no personal contact with. And both of them have really great clairvoyant skills. So they both did a reach out and they couldn't find me either, which just like, man, it just sent me into the pit. And the whole way everything was just getting structured, like I was selling all of this stuff, like that were, I had attached a lot of emotional content to things, things that were my mom and dad's and, our families. All those people are gone. And it felt like that was just going away. And like every day was just like this shred of another part of me that was like going away. And I'm like, wow, this is really unpleasant. So Og and I are talking about it, and we're like, man, this is so specific. It's like it's a plan, and we start like considering whether this, whether it's some sort of spell or something like that. And we start considering, well, who would have the ability to do that? First of all, if it was some sort of evil or demonic entity that was trying to like whack your abilities, they wouldn't just take one piece of it. They wouldn't take my vision for myself and leave it for everybody else. They just whack that and it would go away. So like the precision of this was just so like insidiously perfect, man. We're like, both of us only know one person with the ability to even do that. So curiously, which happens to be his teacher. So he's at a gathering one time, and he's sitting on the couch and he's thinking about it, and he's like going over his mind, like, is that a possibility? Because the last time he and I talked, we were both going, man, that's the only thing that really makes sense. So he's sitting there just chewing on that in his mind. His teacher comes up from behind him, behind the couch, and kind of whispers in his ear, and he goes, it's not me. And they had a long conversation about it. He gave me all this really good info about why things were happening, and it made perfect sense to me. It was a karmic construct from many lifetimes before, and it was like, at that time where Saturn is saying, hey, here's the bill. What are you going to do? You're going to try to run again, or you're going to pay up? So I was definitely in the pay up mode. And ultimately, nobody could help him. His teacher couldn't help me. Og couldn't help me. None of the people there could help me. And I was like totally on my own with me, myself, and I, and my karma chain. Which actually is a construct of my own construction. I so hate admitting that. Construct of my own construction. I'm the architect of my own excruciating pain. Oh, all right. So I won't bore you with all the other information. What wound up coming down to this is that I had moved my energetic compass to like despair and hopelessness and fear and regret, and like, and that's where I was living all the time. And I was looking at everything through that filter, and I was feeling everything through that filter, which was only making that filter that much stronger. So the word came back that what I had to do was convert that from despair to joy. And I have to tell you, man, and I'll go remember this too, I just broke out laughing, like this hysterical, manic laughing. Like, seriously? Like from here to joy, I'm supposed to just go like turn that, like that's the only answer? Yeah. Oh, I will never forget that day and that moment for as long as I live. And probably long after. So once I got off my whining chair and my woe is me self, the warrior in me just said, all right, dude, you have nothing to lose. Everything's going down the tube. Give it your best shot. Well, I tried to push it to joy. I tried. I'm like, man, this is just impossible. But I was able to move it kind of halfway to gratitude. Like, I look back on my life and I went, man, you've had a crazy crazy ride, man. You've gotten to see some of the most amazing things, things you never could have ever anticipated, known amazing, incredible people, and you've had a really rich experience. And truly, I was beyond grateful for that. And I just, as hard as I could, stayed focused on that for a couple days and just relived like really great experiences and places I've been and the joy of like just experience. Like I've always loved nature and like plants and the sky and like give it to me, man. Stars in the middle of the night when you're practicing. Grateful for all of it. And slowly I didn't like wind up going back. And I stayed there, man. And the more grateful I got and the more I released from feeling victimized, I like it started to rise. And like all of a sudden there I am in this like really joyful space. I was like running out of options. The looking for a place to live thing turned out to be just a nightmare. And it like things happened, like signed up and then fell through. Did this, fell through. Somebody died, fell through. And it was just, it just seemed like I was not going to get out, man. And my friend was like, listen, dude, this is the cutoff, man. People are moving in. You got to go. So I get on the real estate, on the phone with the real estate person, and they're like, I don't know, we put in that request like 4 days ago. They still haven't responded. And he's supposedly going to get on the phone and call them right then. And bing, his computer lights up. And all of a sudden it's this little place in Sebring. And he goes, wow, it was the perfect price, way bigger place than I was living in before. And it looked really clean and like really super cool. In the meantime, Sebring is about like dead in the middle of the state of Florida, and just south of Orlando a little bit, right? And it's a little small town, and I've always been Mr. City Boy. I'd lived in Miami for 30 years, and New York and Atlanta, and yeah. So I'm looking, he sends it to me, I'm looking at it, and like what had taken 4 months of agony, man, like got resolved in about 4 hours. Okay, here's the deposit, and I just trusted, I just trusted that the source was going to take me to where it would be safe. And I kept chanting that to myself all the way up on the 3-hour drive from my old place, dragging my belongings with me to this place I'd never even set foot in. And I got here and it was super cool. And I love where I'm at. And I'm like on a really beautiful place on the edge of a lake. And like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I set my place up to be a cool little studio. And I make art here. And I've met amazing friends here. And I've gotten to start new relationships with a new understanding of who I am and how I want to be in the world. And it's just been a really rich and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience that I'm profoundly grateful for in every way, shape, or form. And people really underestimate how powerful thanks and gratitude actually is, and that's why we do that little setup before the sacred space every week. And grateful not just for pieces of it that you like, but grateful for the whole experience, man, since you actually picked it. Yeah, a little walk down memory lane. So my favorite way of leaving, I have a really favorite spot out on the coast of Oregon called Devil's Elbow. And it's a little cove that just appears, like you drive out of a tunnel in a mountain, and you're on this crazy bridge, and you're looking over here, and there's all kinds of forest, beautiful forest, waterfall, freshwater stream running down towards the ocean. And you come around and you come down onto the beach, and there's all these rock caves and rocks off like the edge of the beach, and the waves are crashing over them. And it's just the most magical place I've ever like been. So my mindset was to like get a video camera, and it has a very long, wide beach. And I was just going to sit there as the tide comes in, and I have the camera set up and rolling, and sit in front of the camera and dissolve myself, just go away. And leave the camera running, and wait around afterwards to see what people would say about the videotape. Unsolved mysteries. No, they'd probably think it was a hoax. Yeah, pretty funny. All right. Let's make some sacred space. And as always, I've been on a pretty good roll today, man. If anybody's looking for a reading, it'd probably be a pretty good night. So let's make some sacred space and move some energy around. Let me get rid of this thing first. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Dennis, welcome, man. Glad you're here. Yeah, you guys are funny. All right. So, I do this clangy thing around this every week as I'm doing an incantation. And then I like do the bong thing, and I just kind of wanted to let you know exactly what was happening with this. As I'm going around and getting the sound, it's kind of collecting the energy, and when it comes around and does a shang, it's kind of like a little EMP burst in your room, in your space, and on you as well. So each time that comes around, like, maybe anticipate it a little bit. I'm pretty good with my timing on that, so you should be able to follow that. And when it clangs around, like, gather that energy. Like, I'm sending it out, like, as it's happening. It's there for you to grab if you want it, and use that energy. And when the clang happens, just imagine a poof, EMP burst, like in your light burst in your whole room, and just like any negative shadows or like any collected emotions or any of the just regular energetic debris that collects wherever people live, just sweeps all that out, man. Really creates this really super pristine space. And then what's really great about the bowls is they send waves out like you're throwing a rock in a pond, and they come back and reflect, and and those are actually going out and cleansing. Short review: the universe was created with numbers, letters, and sound. Yes. Sound is the thing that organizes matter. So it's moving through your space and cleansing that and just reorganizing and aligning all of the material part of your world. Pretty simple, pretty cool. great effect. And then this is just sending out a constructive wave. So like as we're doing this and we're doing the little initial part of setting up our sacred space, I'm sending that out, and a lot of you guys have gotten really good at connecting, and it's really great making an energetic connection in a circle that we can all connect to. And that's what I dip into when I'm doing the readings for you guys. That's why we can do this kind of long distance. All right, so here we go. With the brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Counterclockwise circle. With the brilliant, radiant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. With the brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Yummy. We joyously gather again to create our sacred circle, our space of safety and sanctuary. We ask that our guides and our angels be with us this evening. They share their wisdom, their knowledge, their understanding, and their love of the true light. We ask that we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the wisdom to understand. And with absolute gratitude for all of it, the good, the bad, and especially the ugly. Infinite, unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love. And our wish for bliss to the source. We open our circle. All right, woohoo. I'm going to pull a card for the group. Words of wisdom for our energetic family. Words of wisdom for our energetic family. Words of wisdom for our energetic family. Ah, yes. Yeah, this is a beautiful card. Yeah, number 17, the Angel of Revelation. These poor cards are like decaying even as we speak. Here, let me bring up the... All right. Come on. There you go. You feel betrayed by your trusted friends, disillusioned. Your false vision in a spiritual matter is crumbling. You feel as if you have been stabbed in the back. These feelings are creating extreme despair, depression, and a deep sense of loss. A new dawn always rises, bringing with it hope for a better day. Let go of your fears. They're what led you to this negative thinking. So true. Like, yeah, it's always fake. They led you to this negative thinking. It's your self created prophecy that things would not work out. Man, we do that to ourselves so hard. No, no. Even when you send out like a good wave and you get it all like that, the next day you're going, oh, that probably didn't work. Give yourself the right to give up. Lose the untrustworthy friends and abandon the broken projects. Stop fighting these losing battles. Surrender and face your fears head on, and you will discover something miraculous and wonderful has happened. You're free. Free. You discover that the monster you fear isn't half as bad as you think it is. Broaden your thinking. Your life is not over. Use your imagination. Visualize your best life. You're the creator in your universe. Every vision is an illusion until you make it real. Your reality is dependent on your point of view. Alter your mind, and you immediately alter your reality. What you think, you become. We talked about that last week. It's the essence of the creating of the trillion universes all around us. What you think, you become. What you choose to think about happens. Just the way it is. All right. All right. Let's do some breathing, man. Yeah, let's take a nice trip down to blank space. Yeah, here we go. All right. So for anybody new, we're going to be doing a really deep inhale, and you're going to use your solar plexus to draw the energy. You're going to take it in through your nose, and you're not just taking air. I want you to visualize bright gold, almost white. It's so brilliant, gold, and have that energy just go up through your nose, just infuse every part of your body. Oh, feels good already. And then if you have something specific that's hurting, like some physical ailment that you need help with, before you do the breath, just tune your intent to send all of that healing energy to that particular spot. It really does help. And then on the exhale, we're just going to release really slowly. Oh, and also on the fill up, make sure you really fill up. When you feel like you're like, okay, that's enough, really stretch. Just get as much as you can in there, right? And then as we release, I want you just to tie your attention to your breath, and I'll be guiding you down. And I want you just to leave the world and just shut off all the way down to, when I say silence, it's like it's a freeze frame. It's okay, you stop breathing, just hold your breath for a second. You're not thinking, everything's just blank and potential. And we'll hold that for 5 or 6, 7 seconds. Take another breath. Take another breath. And then on the last one, we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Now, you'll need to take a little breath during that time, probably. So just make sure that you maintain your mental mode of being silent and still, and just take little tiny breaths in through your mouth, just to give you enough to just get through that little zone. Okay. All right. And if you guys never take anything besides, but one thing out of this, all of these shows, we're coming up on our 100th show last night. Tonight's 99. finding your ability to go to and stay in and be one and maneuverable in blank space is like the gem of gems. And for what's coming up in the next 3, 4, 5 years, having that skill, trust me, man, you will be very happy you fostered it. So the whole gig when going down to those breaths and stopping is just being able to hold that space. Like it's difficult for people to sit down. I'm going to sit down and meditate and I'm going to not think for 5 minutes. Well, like I tried that for a long time. It was really like not successful. So this is a neat little gimmick just to get you down there. And even if it's just for 5 or 6 seconds, you're riding a groove in your energy field. And it's easier to get back there every time. And as you practice that, and you can practice that anywhere. You can practice that in traffic. You can practice that anywhere. Sitting in the doctor's office, like, okay, it doesn't really matter. And the more you're able to go there and the more you're able to sustain that, the more free that you will be in every way. All right, so enough talking. Here we go. Inhale. Here's your solar plexus. Drawing the golden light into your nose. Really fill it up. And release. You're hearing the sounds of the world, the traffic, the noise, the static, all fade away. You hear it getting dimmer, dimmer. No mind. Deeper. Silence. And inhale, make a count. Into the nose, really stretch. And release. Sinking deeper into the blissful silence. No thoughts, no future, no past. Deeper. Silence. All right, last one, inhale. Bright, golden, healing energy, warm, rejuvenating. And release. All your thoughts are still. No mind. No time. Only this moment. Silence. Hold for 30. $15. And 30. Take a nice deep breath. Stay where you're at. All right. I'm going to show you the 4-4-4 box breathing. And what that is 4 breaths of inhale, 4 breaths of hold, 4 breaths exhale, 4 breaths of hold. I'm going to count those breaths off for you. And on the holds, I'm going to do the word exhale and the word inhale to be counted as the 2 count. So the sequence will go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, exhale. Don't start exhaling until you hear the word go, and I start with the count. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, inhale. All right. So we're kind of running out of time a little bit. So we're just going to do 4 of these. But if you find yourself in a stressful zone, pull it out, man. I mean, this is a great tool, and you can do it like in the middle of a crowd. It doesn't really matter. It's so easy and convenient. All right, so here we go. We're only going to, oh, by the way, I meant to tell you, do a minimum of 8, like do it for a minute, 3 minutes, and just keep repeating the sequence, and you'll feel yourself starting to just release and get back to like a centered zone. All right, so here we go. And inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Inhale. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and rest. 4, 4, 4. Super easy. Works every time. All right, let's get to some readings. Let's see, we've got Tammy, Jardine. Oh, all right. All right, Inga, here we go. Concentrate. Deep breath, bring it down to the focus, like a magnifying glass, focusing the sun. There you go. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. This is number 19, the angel of expansive intelligence. You are about to be gifted with love that is nurturing, creative, clearly focused, inspirational, and equally fulfilling. Well, you want to stop? Woohoo! A beginning to a new romance in which you will experience communication, balance, and deep love. Together, you will reach your goals. The seed has blossomed into a tree of appreciation, 2 souls equally cherished. Good, solid ideas are passing between 2 people. Respect will blend your 2 hearts together. The feeling of being simultaneously very special to one another, rather than just equal. Expect a surprise. 2 whole, and this is like a huge idea that should probably be like a prerequisite for actually getting married. 2 whole, complete souls, when united, create a third construct larger than either of them separately. A love affair which will, create a third construct larger than either of them separately. A love affair which will unite your separate qualities and abilities through love to produce something in your lives beyond what either of you could have achieved alone. Love gives meaning to the sexual drive that leads us to it. You will find success once you have connected your spiritual and material world into one. There you go. I didn't totally suck. All right, Tom. All right, focus really hard, Tom. Take 3 deep breaths and just bring it down to that little spot. And if you got a specific question, like if there's something you really want to know, like make sure you beam that to me really hard, okay? A couple nice shuffles here. Words of wisdom from my good friend Tom. Words of wisdom for my good friend Tom. Words of wisdom for my good friend Tom. Number 54, the angel of rejuvenation and eternal youth. Time for a progress check. Are you still on course? When you fulfill personal obligations and agreements, you develop the maturity essential to all social relationships, your faith in yourself, and your ability to succeed. You keep increasing your burdens. There are so many, and they weigh so much, they threaten to crush you sometimes, physically and emotionally. You limit yourself by giving your power to others. It is crucial that you release yourself. Remove yourself from an oppressive situations in your life where you feel you're holding yourself back and unable to fully express all of who you are. Throw down your own burdens and the others placed on you and try a new direction. Put your energy to work for you. Continue to grow. Don't give up now. The risk is so way worth it. All right, let's see here. All right, boy, this one's for you. You know the drill. Words of wisdom from a good friend boy. Words of wisdom from a good friend boy. Words of wisdom from my good friend boy. Wow, that one jumped out. Number 20, the angel of redemption. Control your emotions. You let your empathy run away with you until you are lost in each other's feelings. Sometimes you forget whose feelings are whose. You want to take on healing everyone you meet. Man, I know that feeling. Conflicts and intense misunderstandings throw your relationships out of order. Your ego demands that it is right and digs in, making you brittle and inflexible. If you're too possessive or too demanding in a relationship, your own pride could destroy love. The protection of your ego is an illusion. The protection of your ego is an illusion. We're going to do a whole show on that week after next. and not worth the price you will have to pay. Everything cannot be perfect all the time, and all or nothing attitude will deprive you of what you need. Try not to repress your emotions, but learn to experience and let them flow through you. It's time to be like water. Learn to emotionally resurrect and recharge yourself. Yeah. And energetically, yes, absolutely. You're capable of experiencing great joy, even in dire times. The um the tarot card that goes with this is the Two of Cups. It's that moment where like there's a spark of like loving energy. And it's a really, really beautiful card. This is be an expansion and evolutionary period of time for you, boy. Yeah. All right. My brother, Mr. Ing. Happy birthday, man. It was Dennis's birthday yesterday. Yeah. Hope you're not too hungover. Oh yeah, and did you catch the Odu's last week on the show? Love your thoughts on that, by the way. All right, here we go. Deep breath. Get focused. Words of wisdom from my friend Dennis. Words of wisdom from my friend Dennis. Words of wisdom from my friend Dennis. Interesting card. Number 8. The Angel of Divine Blessings. One of my particularly favorite cards. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. Karmic lessons are never easy. No, they are not. Accept this and understand the challenge. Don't surrender. You know, that's the whole story I told today about the gratitude, right? Find your new treasures in the rubble of the old. Yeah. New potentials are created by the setback. Worry takes you out of the moment, the only place where you can affect change. Live in the moment and handle the bumps as they come. Don't worry about them. Don't do 9 of swords on it. Stay clear of the what ifs of tomorrow and the if onlys of yesterday. You are experiencing a deep spiritual need. Go deep within and seek inner counsel. Your preoccupation with the past and the future has you stuck in a bit of a loop. You have accustomed yourself to suffering. A difficult collapse can free you. Whether or not you can recycle the debris of the collapse into something better totally depends on you and the people you surround yourself with. When you find things difficult to understand, keep positive and look for the light ahead. Everything changes. Nothing is forever, not even a bad situation. All right. You're welcome, Grant. Thanks for stopping by, man. Okay, let's see. All right, this one's for Hajati. All right, my brother, focus really hard. Yeah, Dennis says, thanks. It looks like it's going to be a very interesting 2026. Yes, sir, for all of us. All right, Hajati, here we go. Words of wisdom from my good friend Hajati. Words of wisdom from my good friend Hajati. Words of wisdom from my good friend Hajati. Number 7, the angel of patience. Yeah. Worry, worry, worry. You are experiencing it from every direction: health, finances, creativity, work, and relationships. Look at your situation and decide what you really want. That's the most critical part of this. Your emotional responses are ruling your clear mind. And when your emotions rule what your energy is sending out, it's never a good role. You've connected to your pain and have lost sight of how good life can be. Material deprivation, emotional insecurity, and physical loneliness allow you to experience the disappointment that occurs when every effort seems towards stability seems denied and everything you want to hold on to is lost. God, this is my whole story taken away. You come to recognize the illusion of permanence in physical and material desires. You come to recognize, man, like, oh my God. You come to recognize the illusion of permanence in physical and material desires. You come to recognize the transitory nature of physical and material desires. Take heart. New opportunity awaits, new possibilities. A path more consistent with the present will be revealed now. Strategic review, refocusing, and recalibration are all essential steps to forward progress. Focus all your energy on your own spiritual growth. Here is peace. Here is peace. Apply slow and steady effort, one step at a time, one moment from moment to moment. Keep trying different combinations until the lock opens. In spite of the trials, which you'll wind up being grateful for, you will continue to progress towards your goal. Your rewards will be as resplendent as your confirmed belief in what you can achieve. Great card. Man, angels are intense tonight, bud. Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. Tammy Joe, man, I think you're last up. You know the drill. Words of wisdom for my good friend Tammy Joe. Words of wisdom for my good friend Tammy Joe. Words of wisdom for my good friend Tammy Joe. All right. Number 56, the angel of fortune and support. You have become a bit passive and submissive. You have become reactive instead of proactive, and you find yourself always being moved by the intent and desire of someone else. Yet you are adaptable, easygoing with friends and associates, and this makes you sometimes vulnerable to the influences of individuals or mass opinion. You have become overly passive to the point of inactivity, waiting and watching. You're afraid to do anything, and so you do nothing. Your fear has kept you from jumping into the heat and passion of life, and now the game of life has become a bit forced. If you're a disorganized mess and this is contributing to your difficulty, you may receive discouraging news, but keep on trying. This is not a time of disappointment, but a time of expansion. Yeah. And finding balance. Yeah. And part of all of that has kind of been the mode of the energy that we've been swimming in, the energetic ocean, man, the sun, the planets. There's 6 planets in retrograde right now, including Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter, like all, yeah. So that's kind of contributed to all of us feeling like that. And it's like, this is really weird, but it's like all the readings we've gotten together, like pushed into like, it's like a big hole for all of us. Like they've all been just individual pieces of a bigger puzzle. Anyway, you're welcome, Tammy Joe. Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys, man. We've sort of come to the end of the road again. Please hit a like and a subscribe if you have not. And if you leave just even a hashtag live or some kind of comment down below, it really helps me out a lot. And, I don't really care about getting a huge following, but I really care about finding people that would benefit from some energy work and working on their light bodies and working on the stuff that like really matters along with us. And, if you know anybody, share, bring them along. We welcome their participation. And if you get a chance, remember the decks come with a big, massive 2-hour reading. So anyway, so thanks again. Really super amount of gratitude for all you guys, man, coming and sharing space and energy and us learning and growing together. And, if there's stuff coming up that you would like, that have been on your mind, subjects or oracle systems or anything like that, give me a call. I love to shoot me an email and, we'll do something on the show about it. I love getting your input about that. And I love constructing this to be like ours and not just mine. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, and count your blessings. And remember some of the two of the most powerful words in the world. Thank you. So thank you. We joyously come to the close of our meeting this evening and send everyone on their happy way. We thank the angels and our guides for their wisdom and their love of the source. And with absolute gratitude for all of it, the good, the bad, especially the ugly, infinite, unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. Until next week, be in the light.